Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, Allie cheers for Michigan.
Also, the new NASA administrator says the odds of finding aliens is pretty high.
All that and more on the way next. All eyes are on space right now. Not just because of the Artemis II mission going around the moon, but also while we're up there and, not even associated with the Artemis mission, we got stuff to look for.
Okay.
We got to look for aliens. And, don't just take my word for it. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman is saying that finding aliens goes to the heart of many things at NASA.
Okay.
He said in an interview with CNN, he's the NASA administrator, which feels like a strange title because he is like the number one. He is the head of NASA.
He's the president?
He's the administrator.
But
he's the highest ranking official in NASA.
Okay.
He says that he's been to space twice, which is true. I didn't encounter any aliens up there. I have not yet seen anything to suggest that we've been visited by any intelligent life forms. But when you think about it, we've got 2 trillion galaxies out there. Who knows how many star systems within each of it? I would say the odds that we'll find something at some point to suggest that we are not alone are pretty high.
Whoa.
The head of NASA says the odds that we are not alone are pretty high.
I don't think Isaacman is the head of NASA, but...
He's the administrator. He's the highest. I'm looking at the NASA organization website. It doesn't go higher than this.
It doesn't go higher than that. Okay.
This conspiracy goes straight to the top. The top of NASA.
Oh, man. NASA certainly is all about new discoveries. And so I do believe them when they say that they... are on the lookout for this stuff. That's why we got the space telescopes. That's why we're looking out and seeing what we can find and making discoveries all of the time, including last night or really yesterday afternoon when they were going on the dark side of the moon. Artemis found a new crater that had not been seen before on the moon.
Crater?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later, but it's actually the story behind what they find is actually pretty cool. But
no aliens.
No aliens. And so I don't know if I necessarily agree with Isaacman that the odds are pretty high because when we continually search, we seem to find more and more that our Earth is very unique. Our solar system is very unique. And life here on Earth seems to be quite the miracle.
But what if... And I feel like nobody ever considers this. We're always like looking for water, things that can support life on other planets.
Yeah.
What if there's things that can live without those things?
Yeah, that's totally a valid question to ask. Like if there's a planet out there where life is very different than our type of life.
And then why would they want to come here?
They would die if they came here because life,
Possibly.
It would be similar to us going to their planet without, let's say they live without oxygen.
They're gelatinous blobs,
Right.
don't need to breathe.
Right. We wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I think what people want to know when it's talking about aliens, they want to know if they can find intelligent life that can think and has a mind, and so not just like a microbiome. They don't care about that.
If they do find that one day, that would be obviously it'd be a big step forward.
Sure.
But it also feel like if we were talking aliens, and then they're like, yeah, we found a little amoeba.
That's what they keep saying. It's like, oh, we found life. And it's like, you found bacteria. Like, that's not exactly what we're talking about when we want to find aliens.
Yeah, but hey, the odds are pretty high.
According to Jared Isaacman.
The administrator. And if anybody would know,
it's Jared.
It's it. He's been to space twice.
Yeah, more times than me.
If you did not stay up to watch the national championship game last night for men's basketball, here's what you need to know. Michigan is the champion. They defeated UConn 69-63. I never thought I'd see the day. Allie is silently cheering for Michigan.
Snaps for Michigan. I won't clap. I will not clap. That's not what I can do as an Ohio State fan. I'm a Buckeye through and through. I bleed scarlet and gray. But am I happy that the Big Ten finally ended their drought in the NCAA tournament? Am I happy that the Big Ten swept both the men's and women's? Absolutely.
I think that's a funny way to look at it.
Why not? Why is it a funny way to look at it?
I don't know. In, let's say, hockey, right?
Okay.
If the Sabres don't win the Stanley Cup, but the Canadians do, I'm not like, at least the team from the Eastern Conference won the championship.
No, professional sports don't work like that at all. For some reason, in college sports, specifically in football, there is this big emphasis on conference. And our conference is the best. And I really feel like the SEC is what started this. And I never really wanted to be that person. But when you're forced to be that person, you become that person. And so I've become like, oh, let's go Big Ten. So, yeah.
Oh, that seems a little silly. The team you hate the most just won.
I'm very happy that the Big Ten just finished out this drought. It's been 1989. That's crazy.
1989 for Michigan.
Oh, I
the
thought
Big Ten won in 2000.
Okay,
Michigan State, but that's still a long time.
That's still 26 years.
UConn and Michigan. It was a close game. It was not a good game.
Oh, really?
It was. I can't remember the last time I've seen a game like this, and you would never see an NBA game like this, where you would have sequence in the second half, to start the second half, the first 9 possessions, 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
It was sloppy. It was like somebody greased up the ball, and every time you were going up and down the court, there would either be a block or a turnover, a steal of some kind.
Yeah.
And it was just going, which is kind of, I'm not going to say it's not exciting, but it's not crisp, smooth basketball to watch. And it was compounded by the fact that, and I think this has been a problem throughout the tournament this year, is the balls, there's been talk of them being like extra inflated, so they're like extra bouncy, which makes shooting harder.
Interesting.
And then the one rim, particularly, like in the first half, the rim that Michigan was shooting on, I don't think they made a three-pointer. And then they switched sides. And then the second half, it took UConn forever to hit a three-pointer as well.
Yeah.
So, obviously, if both sides have to play on that for a half, it's equal.
Fair.
It's fair.
Yeah.
But frustrating to watch where, we were talking, that side had a couple dozen threes shot on it before one finally went in. It was ridiculous.
That is weird.
It was definitely.
I wonder what was causing that.
Sloppy.
Was the rim bent or something?
No, like just too. It could have been the sight lines, I guess, because that's what they say a lot of times too. The championship games are played. This has been this way forever. They're played in giant football stadiums.
Yeah, it's at Lucas Oil Stadium.
They don't normally host basketball games, so it's not what the players are used to playing in.
Sure.
But I think it was more about the rim being, the tightness of it or something.
Being wrong.
Being off. And so either way, it was a close game all the way through. UConn got out to a lead early. They were kind of playing better in the first half. They kind of got a pretty tight whistle, I would say, in the first half, so that affected them. And kind of made it to where I think it changed up the momentum because they were getting out to a lead and playing better in the first half. There was a flagrant foul call on them, and that kind of seemed to switch things. And then Michigan got into a lead, never gave it up, but UConn was just like staying just within arm's reach and kept it close to the very end. So.
Yeah, it was a close game. 69-63 was the final score. That is low scoring. You talk about lots of turnovers and the three just not hitting. I feel like the past championship games I remember, there was a lot more scoring, like a lot high scoring of games. So I was surprised to see the final score that low.
I think, didn't they say Michigan had scored like 90 points in every... I think it was the second most points by any team in a tournament ever or something like that.
Yeah, they blew people away all tournament long. So maybe you're right about something being off with just the shooting that night and just the different environment. It always does look a little weird because it's like you see the coach will be standing on the court, and then if he wants to go to the bench, he's got to like jump down basically because the court is so much more elevated than everywhere else, below it and around it because it's at a football stadium.
Yeah, it's just disappointing. And, this could have been a one-off, but I feel like this tournament where, you play a whole basketball season and then you get to the championship and the quality of play is so much less, even though these are the two best probably teams in the whole country.
Yeah, like you would hope that the court would be completely pristine.
Right.
If
that
this
you're getting
is the championship.
Best version of the product and not a definitely subpar version.
Yeah.
Congrats to Michigan, your national champions. I have some great news for listeners on the RadioU app in New York State.
Okay.
it is now safe to eat some fish caught in the Hudson River.
Some.
8772 Radio U. For the first time in 50 years.
Wow.
Apparently, the Hudson River, it's been too dangerous. It'd be very risky to have eaten fish caught in the river for the past 50 years due to toxic chemicals known as PCBs.
Okay.
But the levels have finally gotten down low enough that if you were to catch a fish in the Hudson River, apparently you would be well within your rights to do so.
Some of them. So
Yeah.
not all of them?
I guess so. I guess it probably depends on the size of the fish, right? If it's a
Maybe?
really small fish, maybe the PCBs would not be still watered down enough.
Yeah.
Or maybe vice versa. Maybe it's a really big fish. It might still have a lot of PCBs in it.
Yeah.
Because it's bigger, more volume. I don't know.
So what is a PCB?
A PCB is polychlorinated biphenyls.
Oh, okay. That just sounds bad. I don't know what that is, but
Yeah. Well, if you just saw that on a list of ingredients, though, would that stop you from eating anything?
That's the thing that I'm thinking of. I'm like, if I was shown like a bag of potato chips and it had PCB on it, I wouldn't think anything of it.
Let's see. Google says they're synthetic, toxic, and persistent organic compounds formerly used as coolants, lubricants, and insulators in electrical equipment. Well, I definitely wouldn't want that in my food.
No, I definitely don't want to be eating lubricant. Yeah.
The next question is, how is that getting in the water of the Hudson River? It says it was banned in the United States in 1977 due to environmental accumulation and health risks. So they still, though, persist, it says, in soil, water, and air.
So it just takes a while for it to break down.
I mean, I guess about literally 50 years since it was banned in 1977.
Well, if it's synthetic, sometimes synthetic things take a lot longer to finally work its way through like a natural system to degrade enough where it wouldn't be a problem.
So now my question is, would you want to be like the first person in 50 years to eat
a fish from the Hudson River?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to risk my life. Because, it's the thing, you're reading it and you're saying low enough to be safe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want it just to be good enough. I want it to be like fully safe.
Yeah. I guess, but at the same time.
And they're like, some fish, not all fish. Like, these worry me.
I'm in such a gray area on this because would I want to be, like, I guess my question is, do I think the health department officials there are a little too strict where, like, this stuff has been banned for 50 years. It's probably been slowly and surely working its way out of the water system for 50 years. And so there hasn't been, levels have probably been pretty low for a long time.
Maybe.
And maybe we could have eaten, a healthy person could have eaten from this river 25 years ago.
So you think they've just been playing it safe?
They might have been playing it safe, or vice versa. Maybe they're, maybe they're a little too fast and loose with it. And they're like, we want some good news. We want to win.
Yeah.
Let's tell the people they can eat fish out of the Hudson River again. That'll pump up confidence.
Yeah, right. Well, until they tell us.
By the time they realize they couldn't, it'll be too late.
Until they tell us that all fish out of the Hudson River are safe to eat, I think I'll avoid eating fish out of the Hudson River.
Let's see. It says anglers should stick to striped bass. They do not recommend eating the carp or smallmouth bass.
Okay.
I don't know why, what the difference is, but you now at least have the option. If you happen to be fishing on the Hudson River, particularly near like the Rip Van Winkle Bridge in Catskill, you could, if you caught a striped bass, you'd be good to go.
You could eat it.
Fry that thing up.
Yeah. Yesterday was a big day for Artemis II as the astronauts on the Artemis II mission became the furthest ever humans to travel in history, breaking the record that has stood since 1970, which was a record set by Apollo 13's crew. And that is 248,655 miles from Earth. That was the previous record. And now with the Orion spacecraft and the Artemis II mission, they have roughly traveled 252,760 miles away from Earth. So over 4,000 miles further in distance.
Yes, we've broken a record.
Yes, we have.
We're finally doing it.
Super, super cool. Yesterday, around 1 o'clock Eastern, you would have seen they got really close to the moon. And so they were live streaming the whole time that they were traveling around the moon and showing you the different sites that they were seeing. So I was watching that live. You could watch it like live on the NASA Facebook, on their YouTube. And it was really cool because there was a moment when the crew actually named a new moon crater that they had never seen before. And they named this Carol. And the reason they named it Carol was because...
Pluribus.
No. Commander Reed Weissman, who is a part of the mission, his wife just passed away recently, and her name was Carol. And so they named the crater Carol because they said it was a bright spot on the dark side of the moon. And Carol was such a bright light in the world, and so they named the bright spot that they saw after Carol.
That is nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It is cool.
Yeah.
I really don't want to say anything bad.
No, how can you? It's such a poignant little moment of their trip around the moon.
I feel like if I told Mrs. Hudson I named a crater after her, I just don't feel like she feel like that was very nice.
Okay, well, clearly Reed Weissman, I'm sure Carol Weissman appreciates space, and I think they would have liked that, but not everybody does, clearly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this was... They said in the quote, a number of years ago, we started this journey in our close-knit astronaut family, and we lost a loved one. And there's a feature in a really neat place on the moon, a bright spot on the moon, and we would like to call it Carol.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. So what's next? Like, was this kind of the highlight, and now it's all...
So as of right now, so like they flew by, they had their lunar flyby. And they are, I don't know if they're exactly on their way back just yet, but they will be splashing down, I believe, on the 10th. So that is that's Thursday? Or is that Friday? So yeah, they'll be splashing down back on Earth later in the week. Mm-hmm. I believe it's the 10th. And then the mission is over as of right now.
Do we get to know where they're going to splash down?
I don't
Obviously
know
in water. But,
I don't know if they know the exact place, but they're usually able to pinpoint what area based off of where they'll enter. So like what their trajectory is and everything, what area they'll land in.
But we don't know yet.
Don't know yet for sure. At least I don't know. So.
I think that's going to be cool when they get to be back on Earth.
Yeah, I've seen footage of that. Like them going out in a boat and getting the astronauts, like they open it up and the astronauts are waving like, hey, we landed. And so this will be kind of one of the first times we get to really see that live. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be cool.
Yeah. Well, this has been... It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
A small step for man, some might say.
An even smaller step than previous small steps we've had.
Good point.
Considering we've been on the moon
Not to diminish it or anything.
That first small step.
But also the biggest step in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
This could be the most Canadian thing that could ever happen. Saturday night, Rogers Place, home of the Edmonton Oilers. A baby was born at the Oilers game versus the Vegas Golden Knights.
I did see this. I saw this shared on social media. They were like, a woman is giving birth over there.
Yeah, on the, what did they say, the 7th floor?
Something like that.
Now, unfortunately, while we have every reason to believe that this happened, the woman in question and baby have not been identified yet. So we're a couple days out, and we still don't know
who these people are.
Who this was. All we have really to go on is that the Oilers play-by-play announcer Jack Michaels said, coming back to start the second period, that a baby had been born. So like he knew, but also I guess he could have got bad information.
Maybe.
We don't know, but why would they make this up?
Yeah, so. I definitely think he was told that this was happening, and hopefully that information was correct.
Yeah. I love one of the comments on one of the posts. Somebody said, at least somebody on the Oilers is delivering for the Oilers.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the catalyst to help them out? But I think it might be a little too late.
I was thinking this could be like a turning point. Like somebody was saying they should they should, once this mom, is identified and whatever, if she ever wants to be, if they could get her to like come back and do a ceremonial puck drop when they're in the playoffs or something.
Yes.
Like this could be a Billy Goat breaking kind of curse type thing.
Yes. They need a good luck charm. They need something. Honestly, they needed this last year. But.
Not just for the Oilers, but for all of Canada. Because, Canada hasn't had a Stanley Cup since 1993.
Right.
It's been a long time.
That is a long time. And coming up in, I feel like a lot recently, we've been talking about droughts getting broken, ending.
Yep.
And so this might be the year where that continues. I feel like we had droughts that ended last year as well. So you never know. You never know. I think the Oilers are kind of behind the 8 ball for this playoffs, but hey, anything could happen.
This could be the magic they need. Next question. Baby born at a hockey game. What do you name the baby?
Ooh, Wayne? Is it a boy?
I guess it could be Wayne.
Yeah.
In honor of Wayne Gretzky, of course. I was thinking probably Stanley would be the best, wouldn't it?
Stanley. Maybe Stanley Wayne.
Sure.
Middle name Wayne.
It was also at an Oilers game, so you could go McJesus is another possibility.
What about if it's a girl?
Oh, that makes it tougher, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Stanley could work as a girl.
It could.
Especially in Canada.
Yeah.
I think
but
that
you
would
wouldn't want to call
fine.
a girl Stan. So
Lee. Lee is a fine girl's name.
Yes, Lee could work.
So Stanley the girl. Or if you want to really, you could go Lord Stanley.
Lord Stanley.
Yeah. Actually, dang, why don't I name a baby that? That has some power to it.
Lord Stanley.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.